Through the grogginess of a freshly awakened mind, I can observe my surroundings only one thing at a time. The morning light shining from the skylight is bright and sky-colored. It reflects from the white walls and the colorful posters and paintings. I hope nobody at school realized I spent the night here. They didn't find out the last time, so I am feeling confident about my chances. My neck is stiff and my shoulders are hurting like hell from sleeping in an awkward position like that. I can't even remember when I fell asleep. Only the full moon and Rin warm against me. I can't remember her waking up either, leaving my side, however, she has. Rin is standing in the middle of the atelier, looking as if she was lost. She's not looking at anything I could see, not doing anything, just standing there. She's managed to dress up a little by herself. A strange thing. I thought that at least I thought that at least would have been impossible without hands. I get up and walk to her, patting her on the shoulder to get her attention. Hey. She flinches at the contact. I've never seen Rin flinch. Rin looks a bit panicky, a bit anxious, a bit defensive, as if she were a completely different person last night. Perhaps she was. My heart drops straight down to my stomach, full of liquid nitrogen. I, I'm sort of sorry. Why sorry? It wasn't very tactful of me, last night. But isn't that sort of thing something you want because you like me? So blunt. I'm completely baffled by Rin's approach to this. No, even if it was, I think I'd prefer for things to go properly. Rin cocks her head, looking like she has no idea what I'm talking about. She still has this guarded feel about her, but nothing belies any real emotion. So you don't want to do that sort of thing? I didn't say that. So you do? I didn't say that either. Listen, it doesn't even matter. I just don't think it was the best thing I could have done in that situation, and I tried to apologize. I wonder for whose benefit I'm trying to come clear with these feelings. I don't even know why I'm feeling so terribly guilty. Maybe. I don't think it was a very good idea either, probably. It's like you said, we're not like that. We are friends, it was a bad idea. Maybe we should forget about it. Maybe you should forget about it and I will too. I'm really good at forgetting things, so it should be alright with me. I can't do that. Why? Because I like you, that's why. I told you that you shouldn't talk about that. I don't agree. Besides, you brought it up yourself before. I hold my hand up and pinch the bridge of my nose in frustration. I have no idea how to get Rin to understand. I hate that Rin can't clearly tell what she feels about anything. I hate that she's sending these confusing signals as if she's expecting me to read her mind. Do you hate me? She actually thinks about this for some time. I don't hate anything. I don't think I'm a hateful person. Then what am I to you? Help me understand. I try to sound reasonable as I can. I don't know if it will help. Rationally thinking, this is the only way to get her to understand my point of view. Problem is, rationality was never a thing for Rin. It doesn't restrict her like it restricts me. It's not her driving force. It doesn't make her behave like a normal person. I can't. The same answer. I feel so powerless. I feel frustrated. Why? I don't think you'd understand. I'm not sure if I do. Huh. She's 4 minutes in and already have an interesting... Hello everyone, Dean the Autist here, and basically I was supposed to stay up all night doing this, but basically I went to sleep because I couldn't concentrate on anything last night. So I decided to go to sleep, and, I just ate breakfast, and now I'm here. So yeah. Uh... Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I am trying to get a bad ending. However, I don't know which of these leads to a bad ending. If all of them do, or I mean, okay, I already saved here, so yeah, like, I mean, considering there's this whole thing about trying to understand and stuff, you know, like, I think the theme of this route is like you don't have to understand to care about someone, right? It's just be there for them. So I'm thinking it's either I need to understand or then explain. I don't know. I think it doesn't matter would probably lead to a neutral ending, or if there is one. I'm thinking I don't know because I want the bad ending. Right? Because I did the good ending and Emmy's route first, so I'm trying to find the bad ending specifically. Then again, like, I guess it doesn't really matter which ending I get, I'm just gonna get an ending. And besides, there is another route that I could go down a bit later that I definitely know has a bad ending, right? And I remember that clearly. So I could just go down there if I end up with a good ending then. If I can end up with a good ending here, so. Let's do it. Then explain. Fine. Then explain to me. I can't. The same old stupid pattern emerges again, me asking her questions to which she replies with answers that don't answer anything, because it's the only way we can converse. Apart from me listening to her blabbering about whatever, which isn't really a conversation. Is this a play? Are there some unseen roles that we have unknowingly set ourselves into, dictating the rules of engagement whenever we see each other, inevitably leading us to hurting each other? Her nonchalant answers, accompanied by even more nonchalant shrugs, leave me none the wiser, and I hate it. So, I don't know what to say myself. I want to be angry. I am angry. I also feel so powerless. Would anything I say matter at all? It's fine if you want to turn me down. At least do it properly. And if you do, then last night was definitely a mistake. In fact, this whole thing might have been a mistake. I don't want to turn you down, so you can't decide? But why are you playing with me like this then? Hug, then ignore me. Kiss, then ignore me. Play me like a fiddle, is that it? Kiss me, then forget again? My voice is sounding very angry again, even to myself. Rin, too, finally catches the mood, and her curious expression changes instantly to something more uncharacteristic. No? She leaves it at that, her eyes restlessly wandering around, searching the room as if the words she tries to find were written in the painting she herself has wrought. Then what? I need to paint, so... Paint. My vision is filtering through the blood-red lens of unbridled anger. Don't give me that, Rin. I'm not some damn muse of yours to be free to be abused for the sake of painting. Okay, I think I'm approaching the bad ending. That's good. I mean, it's not good, but you know, I'm not some medium for whatever you aspire to. I am me. There's a limit to selfishness. Rin looks down at her toes and wiggles them a little melancholically, while she takes in my outburst without saying anything to defend herself. Only after I have finished does she try to respond somehow. I can't do anything else, or I can do all sorts of things, but I can't do... It's the only thing I sort of do properly most of the time. Yeah, That much I figured out by myself, thanks. Art first, everything else second, or thousandth. Ever pause to consider things from a perspective other than yours? I snarl, the words between my teeth. They taste like poison anyway. Rin is positively alarmed by now, so at least she's not completely dense. It seems like she just doesn't understand what I'm angry about. I can't believe even she could be so stupid. I didn't want to. This time it's Rin who interrupts herself in mid-sentence. You don't understand, I can't. Can't what? She doesn't get a word out of her mouth. You never explain yourself. How am I supposed to understand anything if you never say anything? Why don't you ever talk? Say something. But she doesn't. Venting my anger at her feels satisfying, and being satisfied about it feels terrible. But I can't stop myself. I try to discern some hints of her reaction through my adrenaline-distorted vision. My feedback was not the best kind, but I hope Rin got the clue that she just can't ignore everything else whenever she feels like it. I hate it if she didn't. She never ever listens to anything. She's so unaffected by the world around her. Not this time, it seems. Her body is shaking like from holding back tears, but I already know that Rin is not crying. Go away. Go away, Hizao. I'm sorry, I can't deal with this. Her voice is tiny and tired as she says this, but I hear the words clear as day. The blunt, hollow remark is a fitting conclusion to this unpleasant discussion that became even more unpleasant and very one-sided yelling match. I leave the atelier feeling angry and guilty. I never believed we'd end up like this. I'm not like this. Rin is not like this. No matter how infuriating, unbearable, and outrageous Rin is, this is not like her. Did she really change? Or it was me who changed? Maybe I only thought I knew her? Or maybe I knew the Rin that she isn't. Or is it me who caused this by talking Rin into taking her chances with the exhibition? Am I directly responsible for Rin becoming like she's been for the past few weeks? I can't think of any explanation for her weird behavior, other than the exhibition and all the things that came along with it. Maybe it was the only way that could have brought us closer, but all it did was separate us further away from each other, and now beyond the reach of either of us. Darkness covers the gardens of Yamaku High School, enveloping the small dormitory rooms in the blanket of night. In one of those rooms, I lie in my bed, tired. So very tired. I gave up. I can't lie to myself that everything is alright. That everything will work out. That's not how things go. Glancing at my watch, I see that it's 3:30 at night. I slide my finger over the glass surface of the watch's face. It's been pretty dependable ever since I started wearing it, always knowing what's going on even when I didn't. I turn my head and see the neatly arranged assortment of medicine on my night table. They are dependable too. Things I'm going to depend on for the rest of my life. I think of the limited days ahead of me, the infinite vastness of time that opens up in front of others, the time I wasted chasing things out of my reach, time I will never get back. I take off my watch and lay it down on the table. Yay, the bad ending. Woohoo, yay. Yeah. I'm just gonna skip this. There you go. Okay. Look at the library. Let's see. How much of Rin... Geez, 42 complete? Geez. Okay, bad end, and then there's a blank there. So Shards of Ire is, of course, the bad ending. And then there's the rest of the route. So yeah, apparently there is a branch that... How do I say this? I was told that there's, like, a web of choices you have to make early in the route, right? And I'm guessing... I can guess what those choices are. Those choices influence what you can say in one other choice, And that choice makes it so it's like a different scene that occurs before. And since we're in the latter half of the route where we're actually getting the endings and stuff, okay, well, I guess I could like chase after the good ending now since got that out of my system. Alright, I need to understand. Let's see. I need to understand why. I'm not going to give up, you know. Rin's shoulders slump and she frowns. I know. I do want to be there for you, but I can't do that unless I know how. Just let me do this thing the way I want. That's all. Fine. I don't care. You wanted to change? You wanted to destroy yourself? You want this exhibition more than anything, right? Yes? Okay, then do it. She doesn't respond, or even show acknowledgement of understanding. I'm grinding my teeth together, frustrated beyond anything I thought possible. I want to grab Rin's shoulders and shake her until she comes to her senses. I look at her, and in that moment I know with crystal clear certainty that there is nothing I can do for Rin. None of the words I know would reach her, but still. I think that, for whatever reason, you think that it's important that you go this way, all the way to the end, even if it's not healthy for you, on many different levels. But I'll have nothing to do with it. I can't accept being treated like this and not understanding the reasons for it. I'm finished here. The full weight of what I said sinks in the silent distance between us. Rin doesn't show any reaction, nor even blinks her eyes. She just stares at or through me, quietly. That's fine. Her voice is perfectly calm, emotionless, like an announcement that the 7:30 train will be 7 minutes late. With those words, Rin made her choice, and I made mine. If either of us secretly wanted to change our mind, it's too late for that. I take a hard, long look at Rin, hoping that it conveys my feelings. Without knowing whether it does or not, I leave the Atelier for the last time, feeling empty and anxious, like so many times before. Oh, okay, there is a fourth act to this route. Okay, Act 4, Dream. Yeah. Wait, hold on, since... Okay, hold on, let me look at this. Okay, so since Emmy's route all the way, like, down here somewhere, right? This was Act 3 of Emmy's route, right? And we got the bad ending, I think, before Act 4. So are all the bad endings in Act 3? I'll have to see another route. But, like, I don't think I ever noticed that before. Probably because I wasn't the one at the helm. But, like, you know, that seems very interesting. Okay, well. I make it in time for class, though not in time for breakfast. The classroom is bathing in the gentle light of the sun. This means that it's going to be intolerably hot in the afternoon. For now, though, it's pleasant. I look at Misha and Shizune's animated discussion about whatever. Hanako staring out of the classroom window, Mutuo stumbling into the classroom 4 minutes late and with no recollection of what he's supposed to be teaching today. I can never imagine dropping out of school just like that, even if it's for a few weeks. On the other hand, Rin doesn't seem to have a problem with the idea, or going along with it. Then again, somehow, I got caught along in her insane isolation, even if we ended up hurting each other. Or did we? Maybe only I got hurt. It takes me until late in the afternoon to realize that today is Monday. The art club meets today. Not just that, due to the exams, this would be the last art club meeting before summer vacation. I have no real business going there, but I want to talk to the teacher. So I end up loitering awkwardly in front of the art room, waiting for the meeting to end. That's it for this trimester, everyone. His voice is loud enough to be heard through the door, and way too enthusiastic for it to be genuine. The next meeting is after summer vacations, on the Monday of the first week of the next term. I hope to see everyone there again. Have a nice vacation. Yeah. Apparently with it being very close, to the end of June. I'm already halfway through my summer vacation. And honestly, I do feel pretty accomplished because I was under the impression that Emmy's route would take way longer. And I was like, okay, like one route a month, alright, but like, you know, if I am able to complete Rin's route in like the next few days, what it could be. Well, then again, I already got the bad ending, so it's not going to take that long. But if I'm able to complete Rin's route in the next few days, I could say I've completed 2 routes, in a month. So I should be able to do most of the game before school starts up again, so that's good. There's a confused answering chorus. There's a confused answering chorus of voices, and the door to the classroom opens, releasing a flow of students. I wait for everyone else to leave, so that I can talk to Nomiya alone. It's almost dinner time, so I don't have to wait too long. Nomiya is looking through the paintings, some of which are actually pretty nice. Rin might outclass everyone else in the art club, but she isn't the only one with talent. Excuse me, teacher? What is it, Nakai? He raises his eyebrows questioningly, smiling widely. It's about Rin. Oh, is something wrong with Tezuka? No, but I hesitate for a split second, not certain to how to say what I want to say, giving Nomiya enough time to start blabbering by himself. I saw her a few days ago when I was passing by at Sai's gallery. She said that she'd get 1 or 2 paintings done for the exhibition. I was quite pleased. She's a surprisingly hard worker. I had always thought she was a bit lazy, doing what she wants instead of assignments. He seems to notice my anxiety, and realizing he is digressing, shutting up before finishing the thought. Ah, but you had something to talk about. What is it? I don't know. She feels detached from everything, as if she can't think of anything but the exhibition. Well, isn't that good? She's focused on her painting, and she should be. Yeah, but this is different. It's like she's obsessed. I went to see her and... Have you been bothering her? Awfully defensive, Nomiya. It's like, this is my ticket to success! He cuts in before finishing what I meant to say, instantly looking quite irritated. No, I don't think so. I'm just concerned because she stopped coming to school completely. She feels strange, too. Stranger than usual, at the very least. Humbug. This is much more important for her than some lousy math class, or physics, or whatever. Here's the thing. I suck at math. But, like, let's be completely honest here. A math class is far more important than any fucking art class. Right? Okay. You need math in almost every aspect of your life. I know people are like, oh, but we don't need algebra. We don't need algebra. Well, here's the thing about algebra, right? If you find yourself in a situation where you need to calculate something, it is very good to create a formula, right? Or use another person's formula to see how, to see how the formula is, right? Plug in the numbers, calculate it. There you go, right? Let's say I have $5. Okay. let's. You know what? I'm not gonna get into this tangent. Never mind. Anyway, this is exactly why the school is so flexible, to give every student a chance to fulfill themselves. Tezuka is a painter, so she should paint, no? And have an exhibition? That's what artists do. She should be allowed to concentrate on that, and not on these other frivolous classes. She should be encouraged. If you think about it, it's really quite obvious. His counter-arguments are not very convincing, but I'm having a hard time trying to make any kind of rebuttal. My grudging silence is interpreted as assent, and Nomiya turns to shuffle the stack of turned-in assignments on his desk like a deck of cards. I have to say, while we're talking about Tezuka's exhibition, I'm very excited to see how it turns out. She's still so young, and yet has such wonderful skill and style. He's talking to the air, to relax the mood that got a bit too negative. I take it that you will be attending? Yeah, I guess so. Well, We'll meet there then. I take that as my cue to leave. I do so, although I'm not happy about it. My message didn't get through, to say the least. Oh boy. Yeah. The day after that, all the missed opportunities and things I could have said come crashing down on me. There's nothing left to do afterwards but brood. Second day, I begin to feel anxious. I'm starting to doubt, and it feels stupid, especially since I can't think of anything else than Rin. Third day, Japanese exam and a world history exam. Great. The thing I hate most about her is that she could make me feel this awful even though I should be focusing on entirely different stuff right now. Fourth day, math exam. We have a math exam. It goes how it goes. I don't care. Fifth day, Nomiya asked me again if I will attend the exhibition opening. I can't say no to him, even though I seriously want to. I just don't want to discuss with him anything Rin related, so it's just better to take the path of least resistance. On the sixth day before the exhibition opening, I find Rin standing in the hallway in front of my room when I return to the dorms after dinner. What are you doing here? My tone is angrier than I intended, and I'm a little disappointed that I was unable to restrain myself, but it can't be helped. Rin just stands there, like she just happened to coincidentally be standing around here where she has no business being. The way she acts so coolly to everything annoys me now. This is not good. It's been 6 days and the sight of her has me boiling. She hasn't even opened her mouth yet. Finished painting. Shouldn't you be at the gallery preparing? They said no. I guess the gallery owner does that part then. Getting the paintings framed, hung on the walls and whatnot. So, why are you here? Felt like it. One thing I have to say about Hazao is that he's very overly melodramatic. It's like, the fuck you mean? Like, legitimately? Like, okay, I'm just gonna say it. I think Rin is one of the worst girls Hazao can get with. Right? And I'm not saying anything bad about Rin. Right? I'm saying bad things about Hazao. Because, like, okay, so when you have someone that isn't like that target, when you're in a relationship with someone that isn't that talkative or things like that, right? Sure, like, communication is needed, right? However, Hazao is taking this, like, incredibly wrong way. Like, I'm gonna be completely honest, I do not think Hazao is good for Rin, right? And the other way around, I do not think they're good for each other, right? And honestly, like, even though we haven't seen the other girls yet, I do believe Emmy is one of the best for Hazao, aside from maybe like one other option. But yeah, we'll see that when the time comes. Anyway, felt like it. This is the same old stupid pattern emerges again. Me asking her questions to which she replies with answers that don't answer anything because it's the only other way she can converse. Come on, Hazao. Come on. Why are you taking it this way? Apart from me listening to her blabbering about whatever, which is really a conversation. Is this a play? Are there some unseen roles that we have unknowingly set ourselves into, dictating the rules of engagement whenever we see each other, inevitably leading us to hurting each other? Her nonchalant answers, accompanied by even more nonchalant shrugs, leave me none the wiser, and I guess I should be happy that the exhibition preparations are complete. When I walk into my room, I hear her footsteps following me in. I didn't invite her in. I won't ask her to leave. She claimed my bed without asking permission, making me wish that I had taken the time to make it before I left this morning, then stands up again, as though she sat on hot coals. I half lean against a single corner of my desktop that isn't cluttered with stuff, to rest my legs at least a little bit. Rin spends a few moments, glancing curiously around my dorm, It makes me realize that she's never seen it before. For a moment, she actually looks like she's concentrating, trying to get everything. This must be the eye for detail that makes her an artist. Since the room is small, she quickly runs out of things to look at, but nothing else transpires, allowing the uncomfortable silence to take over the atmosphere. The mood is chilly to say the least, and both of us are on guard, waiting for the other to make the first move. Of course, Rin could play this game forever, so it has to be me. So, I give up, because she never tried to open conversation, and because it seems like she wants to say something, and I want to get it over with. Why else would she be here if she didn't want to talk? I don't know what to say myself. I want to be angry, but I can't bring myself to yell at her or anything. My voice catches her attention, and she tries to search for words as well, but it seems that she's not entirely certain as to why she's here either. And so, Rin simply takes a few steps to close the distance between us, and rises on the tips of her toes to even out the height difference. It was a bad idea. Maybe you should forget about it and I will too. It's a reflex. And almost as an afterthought, the words no, yes, and maybe simultaneously surface inside my mind. My hand is between her lips and mine, a wall that I raise to guard against something. Her breath feels warm against my fingers. The scent of her skin lingers about. The mysterious, indescribable sensation that captures me and drives my eyes deep into hers. The look in her eyes is surprise, quizzical as to why the impertinent hand prevented her advances. Her eyes are really big and glistening with moisture, and staring into my own with a soft gaze that I'm having a hard time to match. Rin's half-open mouth makes her look even more confused, although the sensual way her lips are arching is signaling something completely different. Please? I need you. The words come from her throat as a coarse whisper, meant only for me, bypassing her tongue and teeth without giving them any chance to interrupt. They sober me in an instant, and I clumsily flinch back to get a little bit of distance between us, painfully scraping against my desk in the process. Maybe it's her choice of words, maybe it's the way she says it, but something in it puts me off. Something is wrong. Something is terribly wrong again. Need me for what? All the unpleasant feelings emerge again, and I feel my heartbeat suddenly increasing, at least tenfold. Rin's eyes go out of focus and back again as her body relaxes from its tensed state, and she stands up upright again. I don't think I was thinking about anything. Why do you draw patterns in that dust on your night table? There's a word for that kind of thing, but I can't remember. Her remark almost throws me off track, and I glance over her shoulder at the small table next to my bed. But I can't see anything from this distance. So she needs me for nothing specific? Just happened to come by because you thought I'd be glad to see her after she shut me out, no complaints accepted, for a week? Then again, it's probably just me talking, but like, come on, like, okay, how do I say this? Right. A week is not a very long time. I could go without seeing someone I care about for a week, right? Just, like, certain people need space between each other. And Hizao doesn't seem to understand that. Anyway, again, this is why I don't think Hizao is a very good option for Ren. Completely altruistic motives? Felt like it? Bullshit, I can answer myself. To play mind games with whenever you want, to kiss whenever you want, to ignore whenever you want, to fulfill your whims whenever you want. Come on, bro, it's... Is that it? What you need me for? My voice is sounding very angry again, even to myself. Good. Rin, too, finally catches the mood, and her curious expression changes instantly to something more uncharacteristic. No? She leaves it at that, her eyes restlessly wandering around, searching the room as if the words she tries to find were written in the tapestries of my walls. Then what? I needed to paint. Paint? Of course. That's what artists do. The words reverberate through my being, beating in my blood over the piercing whistle of my anger. Don't give me that, Rin. I'm not some damn muse of yours free to play with for the sake of painting. I'm not some medium for whichever you aspire to. I am me. Am I reaching another bad ending? What did I do? So what if I don't know anything about my future? There are things I want, things I care about. I can even dream of things other than nightmares. I'm yelling, but way past the point of caring about things like that. Bro, what are you doing? Man. Rin looks down on her toes and wiggles them, a little melancholically, as she takes in my outburst without saying anything to defend herself. Only after I have finished does she try to respond somehow. I can't do anything else, or I can do all sorts of things, but I can't do... It's the only thing I can do properly most of the time. I understand completely. Art first, everything else second, or thousandth. What about me? Am I nothing? When I was interested in art, did that make you feel like I was a little interesting for a little while? Tell me, I really want to know, did you ever think about my perspective, or is it just all you? Come on, bro, come on, jeez. I don't know. I think maybe it's because, one, I am autistic, and two, one, I am autistic, and two, I've never been in an actual relationship. So, like, you know, I'm not familiar with those kind of feelings, but, like, honestly, yeah, there are some limits, but, like, I mean, it's not like she's cheating on you or anything. It's like, well, I needed to work on my art exhibits. I needed to work. Right? Like, come on, Hazao. Come on. Just, why are you doing this? Right? Now, granted, if you had, like, evidence, she was like, well, actually, these two aren't in an actual relationship yet. What am I talking about? Yeah. The words rise like bile in my throat. She looks alarmed, and also completely uncomprehending, as if she doesn't understand what I'm angry about. I can't believe she would be so stupid. Yeah, I'm afraid I don't understand Hazao in this situation. Why are you angry, bruh? I didn't want to. This time it's Rin who interrupts herself in mid-sentence. Don't you understand? I can't... Can't what? You never explain. How am I supposed to understand anything if you never say anything? Why don't you ever talk? Say something. But she doesn't. Venting my anger at her feels satisfying. It feels wrong to take such satisfaction in it, but I can't stop. Not wanting to face my anger head-on, Rin turns around to steadfastly look out the window, even though there's nothing to look at. The worst of my ire gone, I shut up as I can't be bothered to keep on yelling at the back of her head so silence finally returns. I try to discern some hints of her reaction through my adrenaline-distorted vision. My feedback was not the best kind, but I hope Rin got the clue that she just can't ignore everything else whenever she feels like it. I hate it if she didn't. She never ever listens to anything. She's so unaffected by the world around her. Not this time, it seems. Her body is shaking from holding back tears, but I already know that Rin is not crying. Her indifference made me so furious. Now that is gone, I'm at a loss. I wonder, did I go too far? Look, Go away. Go away, Zhao. Her voice is tiny and tired as she says this, but I hear the words clear as day. What is there to say anymore? This is my room. The blunt, hollow remark is a fitting conclusion for this unpleasant discussion that became an even more unpleasant, very one-sided yelling match. After a moment of collecting herself, Rin just gives up. I can see it from the way she slumps her shoulders and walks out. Even though she deliberately looks at the other direction, I can see how she's biting the corner of her lip so hard, it might start bleeding if she won't stop. As she makes her exit, I realize that she left the door open when she came in, and my yelling must have echoed around the dorm hallways. Everyone heard that, eh? I sigh. Now that she's gone, I'm left alone with my guilt. As the thumping in my chest slowly subdues, anxiety replaces it. Somehow, I feel that none of this would have ever happened if not for me. No matter how infuriating, unbearable, or outrageous Rin is, she's not the Rin I thought I knew. Also, that's another thing. Like, dude, why are you like putting like what you think of someone over what they actually are? That's, I don't know. Maybe that's a normal person thing. Is that a normal person thing? Am I just too autistic to understand why he's pissed? And the Rin the Rin that I expected Rin to be. Was it me who caused all this by talking Rin into taking her chances with the exhibition? Am I directly responsible for Rin becoming like she has the past few weeks? I can't think of any other explanation for her weird behavior than the exposition and all the things that come along with it. Maybe it was the only way that could have brought us closer, but all it did was separate us further away from each other, and now beyond the reach of either of us. I banged my head hard against the wall, twice to make sure it hurts. Okay then. Oh boy. Did I explain that I already got up, like, recently, so I'm still a bit tired. Okay, so... just making sure everything's fine, and... okay. Of course, the current scene is the scene. Alright then. A headache is relentlessly thumping against the back of my head as I push open the door to this 20-second corner. Apart from that, I'm perfectly calm. After venting on Rin all that anger that I had bottled inside, it felt like a great weight had been lifted from my heart. The tension that I grasped my mind for the past few weeks faded away without even leaving a shadow behind. In this nearly zen-like state of enlightenment, I realized that perhaps it was a bad idea to yell at her like that. Yeah, you think? I really meant it. But what good does blowing up like that do? Nothing. I'm not like that. I don't normally yell at people. I don't know why I did yesterday. So I keep feeling really guilty about it, and wanting to take my words back. Rin is probably upset too, even more than my own behavior. Her reaction shocked me. I've always thought of her as unchanging, detached from her surroundings, so that seeing my yelling at her so upset felt out of place. I wonder if she understands how I feel. In Rin's world, everything seems to be absolute and subjective. Absolutely subjective. As if she was completely unable to see things from other points of view than her own. But ultimately, is anyone able to do it? I mean, objectively, and altruism are illusions for people who like to think of themselves as compassionate. Just like how art is an illusion for people who think reality is merely a veil for something greater. Even when you stop thinking that the world revolves around you or start thinking outside of the mythical box, you are just inside another bigger box that you can't escape. Maybe that ultimately makes her like the rest of us. I stepped through the door to find a gallery full of illusioned people. Despite Sai's remarks during my earlier visits, I always thought it was very spacious, but now when it's crowded like this, it looks positively cramped. I immediately noticed Sai standing in the middle of a lively discussion, busily chattering with some old gentleman. She's actually pretty tall and kind of cool looking, so she stands out in the crowd. There are a few dozen wine glasses laid on the tables along the back wall, filled with burgundy liquid. A vast majority of the guests are sipping from their own glasses. The socialites and art connoisseurs are mingling happy and exchanging mild opinions about Rin's art, which seems to be a secondary object of interest for most. I feel distanced, excluded from the other people here. I can't claim, even at a stretch, to be a social chameleon. So this situation is quite unnerving. Since I don't blend into the crowd at all, I just fake that I do, trying to look as cool and smooth as I can. I wonder how Rin is handling all of this. If it was me, I would be quite freaked out. Throwing the anxiety aside, I try to carefully navigate through the crowd, stealing peeks at the framed paintings and now hanging on the walls. Rin's exhibition takes about half of the gallery's wall space. Some paintings are less familiar than others, but I recognize most of them. Some I've seen being created at the club meetings after all, or remember from the time Rin was choosing her portfolio. I note that a couple of unfinished paintings are framed on the wall as well. Maybe that's what they call coincidental art? Yeah, I don't want to skip this, so I'm just gonna let it run. Even Rin's failures, if you can call them that, became exhibits of her skill, quite paradoxical. She herself is nowhere to be seen, which is strange because even though it's crowded, the gallery is pretty small. It's fine, sort of. I don't know how to face her after yesterday. Maybe I shouldn't have even come. But I promised various people, Rin included, that I would. So, damn. It sounds like I do all the things I do because it's some kind of instinctual properness compels me to. Not because it would be sensible, or not. Sneak closer to Sai to wait for the lull of conversation. For a lull in the conversation so I can shout her up too. Even though her voice is almost completely buried under the general background noise, I hear bits and pieces of her talking about Rin. Yes, she's a high schooler at a local school. Even though she's graduating next year, I'm sure various art schools would be interested in... I thought it'd be interesting to make an exhibition of someone who is in early stages of development. It's so strange. It's like Rin is some kind of mini celebrity, even though this is nothing but a small exhibition opening at a small art gallery of a small town. Yeah. Rin is currently a small fish in a small pond. Who knows what will happen when she meets the bigger fish in the bigger pond. In fact, there's a friend of mine from... It's Azao! My eavesdropping is interrupted by a familiar voice and a familiar slap to the back. I don't need to guess the source of it either without even turning around. Hi, Emmy. Hi, are you like a representative of our arts club or something? I don't see anyone else from the school here. I don't know, really. I guess I am if that's the case. What about you? What about me? You didn't think I'm interested in art, is that it, Hizao? No, that's not what well, maybe a little if you put it that way. Yeah, like, art is interesting to look at, I just don't care for the vast majority of pieces. Like, for example, what was it? There's like all these like old interesting paintings with like a lot of symbolism and stuff. For example, what was it? Yeah, there was like Saturn devouring his own son, that painting. And I don't know the names of a lot of these. There was also the painting of, I believe, crap, I don't remember their names, but this is going to sound weird, but like the two brothers from Greek mythology that make up the constellation Gemini. There was a painting of one of them holding the other one as I think the younger brother is dying, and he's like holding him. And it's like that painting is like referenced everywhere. There's like the statue called there's like multiple Anyway, I don't know much about art, but like, you know, like, plus I don't really care for the vast majority of pieces, but you know, there's some pieces that like definitely speak to something, you know? So yeah. Anyways, that's not what well, maybe a little if you put it that way. I mean, even though you hang out with Rin, I've never heard you talk about art with her, so... Okay, in all honesty, I do not give a shit about the Mona Lisa. Like, okay, it doesn't symbolize anything. It doesn't give an interesting story. It's just a woman. Yeah, sure, there's like secret codes and stuff in there. And yeah, it was painted by Leonardo da Vinci. And like I do not give a fuck about the actual Mona Lisa. Anyways, I mean, even though you hang out with Rin, I've never heard you talk about art with her, so Emmy huffs and looks around her, looking discontented. It's true, I don't get it at all, but she came to my track meet, so I thought it's only fair to return the favor. She leans in closer, trying to look confidential, but only managing to look conspiring. Do you get art? No, I don't. Yeah, exactly. At all. My emphasizing head shake draws a giggle from a cheery head shake of her own, but out of Emmy. Me neither. Hey, let's go talk with Rin. I bet you haven't yet, because I haven't either. Come on. Before she has a chance to forcefully drag me to Rin, Nomiya appears behind her, with Rin in his tow. Hello. She's not dressed for the occasion, instead opting for the usual school uniform and unkempt hair. Maybe her natural look is what suits her the best. Hello, teacher. Hi, Rin. Unfazed, Emmy greets the teacher cheerfully, causing him to turn around and look confusedly. Who are you? I'm Emmy, from school, class 3-4, don't you remember? She looks positively shocked at the prospect that there could be a person who doesn't know her. Oh, sorry, you're in the same class as Tezuka, right? Yeah. You'll have to pardon me. I have trouble remembering students who don't take art. Honestly fair. If I was an art teacher, or like a teacher of any subject, I also wouldn't know the names of students that... like, okay. The students that I have sometimes had to deal with, sometimes I have to, like, ask their names over and over again to get them to remember. Like, I'll remember their names, like, halfway through the school year. But, like, let's say if I, like, only, like, talk with them for, like, a month, right? I'm not going to remember their names very well. It's just how it is. So, anyways. Don't mind. Hi, Rin. Hello. Congratulations for your super cool art thing. I'm sure you'll be a big hit. She throws her arms into the air for boisterous emphasis, almost hitting me in the face. And look, Hazao came too. Rin doesn't look at me, nor does she greet me. Congratulations, Rin. She keeps averting her gaze, pointedly looking at her sandals. Oblivious to the tension between us, and ignorant of what happened yesterday, Emmy keeps on blabbering about this and that to an unresponsive Rin. I guess she's not used to getting much out of her at times. Before long, Nomiya and Sai turn to Rin, introducing her. Expecting it, I catch the second of confusion when the guests see her arms. Sai is luckily on the ball and briefly explains about our school. Doubtful faces quickly change to curious. Would you mind telling us something about your art? I thought the development is quite easily noticeable. What do you think of the differences between the older and more current works? It's quite rare for someone to dabble into so young to dabble into abstraction. It would have been interesting to see how you work. Oh, definitely. I assume you use your feet? It must have been great trouble to learn it. You should be proud. Will you be pursuing a career as an artist after school? She is bombarded with so many questions she can't even hope to answer all of them. Maybe that's for the best. Rin tends to talk nonsense more than occasionally. So where do you get your ideas? It's the fifth worst. Rin keeps stumbling with her words, looking more and more vexed by the expectant inquiries. Everyone is waiting for her to say something, but she looks like a cat got her tongue. Each question piling up just adds to her distress. I fail to hear the question. That is a proverbial one too many. It's like a motor stalling. Ren just freezes for a long second until she falls to her knees, hitting the floor ungracefully like a sack of potatoes. Are you alright? I don't know. Tezuka, what's wrong, girl? I don't know what's wrong. Terrible silence falls upon the people gathered around Rin. Everyone is petrified, not knowing how to react to her sudden seizure or something. She breathes with deep, trembling gasps, as if she's running out of air, staring ahead of herself with hollow eyes. Feeling that nobody does anything, I force myself to step to Rin and lift her up from the floor, letting her lean against me to keep standing. Would you like some fresh air? Okay, let's go outside for a bit. I don't even wait for her to answer before grasping her shoulder and pulling her past the stunned-looking Nomiya, Sai, Emmy, and guests. Excuse us. The cool evening breeze hits my face at the door. I let go of Rin, and she leans against the stone wall, trying to catch her breath. Are you alright? I couldn't say anything. Rin is still not looking at me, so I look away too. The street lights and colored neon lights twist my vision into a blur of near blindness, forcing me to look back. At least she talks, even if she's not directing her words to me. What did you want to say? Maybe both of us can imagine that we're talking to an invisible friend. I don't know. Something that would have meant something. The silence lasts for a long time. I don't feel comfortable being alone with Rin, and I'm not good at imagining things that don't exist, or things that exist don't. We should go back in. The guests I invited are there. They probably want to meet you and talk with you. You know, you ask questions and stuff. About those paintings you worked so hard for. I don't want them to ask me questions like that. I never say the right things. What do you want? What do you want then? That someone wouldn't have to ask questions from me. Okay. It's entirely possible. I don't. You know what? I'll keep going. I'll keep going. Even though I recorded the bad ending earlier, right? Even though I recorded the bad ending earlier, I do kind of want to see if this route has a neutral ending, because I remember some routes do have neutral endings. So, okay, I think this is the romantic option, but this is... But aren't you happy people are interested in your paintings? I mean, isn't that what you went ahead with having the exhibition and all? Of course, they would ask you questions if they think it's interesting. It's like having a sunrise twice in a row when you want to bathe naked in moonlight. Nice, but it's not good enough. I complete the sentence for her even though I don't understand her inappropriate metaphor. I don't get it. You should try to be happier. It's your big night after all. Don't do that, man. All these people are here to see your paintings. I think that's awesome. I wait for her to say something, either for or against, but Rin keeps brooding. She doesn't want to answer questions or explain to me what's wrong. If she had something to say, the words are left unspoken. The words she cannot say. I shudder against the chill wind that blows in the streets, and its howling fills the silence. We should go back in. You got everyone worried. Ah, there you are. Feeling better? It can get pretty hot in here. A dizzy spell can catch you off guard. He laughs brashly, almost obnoxiously. You should drink something if you're feeling weak, Tezuka. Rin nods weakly, but it seems to be enough to convince Nomiya that she's fine. He pushes Rin a bit forward to introduce her to the person he was conversing with before. So, what were we talking about before? Ah yes, I'm very excited to meet... I shut out of the conversation, and the background noise of dozens of other discussions fills my ears with indistinct buzz. Even Emmy has disappeared somewhere. Standing in the middle of the crowd is a surprisingly lonely feeling. Not only Rin, but everyone else here seems to be a part of something I am not a part of. I'm happy for her. I really am. But it makes me feel that I haven't accomplished anything yet. Rin is living proof of the potential of a human being. She overcame her disability even made it a strength. She should be happy. What is my potential? Rin made it this far, but how far can I go? The last day before summer vacations is waning slowly. Silence is... It's not silence. Science is the final exam of the trimester, and then we are free. The collective yearning for liberty is almost palpable in the classroom, even though the weather seems a tad cloudy. It might rain today. Who knows? I've already finished the test because it was pretty easy. So I'm doodling lazily on the flip side of the page for Mutuo to call me. So yeah, it's like... I see a bunch of Rins. I think I see Kenji, Yuko. I thought I saw Emi somewhere. Is that Mutuo? The box Mutuo? There's like a bunch of other doodles and stuff. And it also prevents Misha from trying to covertly look at my answers over my shoulder. She might fool the attentive teacher, but I can at least tell that she's trying to look. Although it's her best bet at passing the test, doesn't make me feel any mercy though. So I just ignore her and look around me. It's quiet. The only sounds in the classroom are the quiet shuffling of papers and Mutuo's constant coughing. It makes my awareness of the surroundings slowly drift to the backstage of consciousness, giving room to other things. Vacation, huh? Some people will stay at the school even over the holidays. Some will go back to their families. I should probably make the trip back home and report to my parents that I'm alive and well. Not much to do at the school anyway, I suppose. Next trimester will be stressful. Everyone will have to seriously start thinking about what to do after graduation, including me. Okay, I think the one with like the bangs over half her face might be Hanako. Is that Misha over there with the drills? I think that's Misha. Maybe it's because I didn't really set out to draw anything in particular. Maybe I just wanted to kill some time, so the drawing became exactly like I am, without direction to go to. It'd be easier if I had some special talent like Rin. She has it easy. It makes me jealous. It pisses me off that she herself can't seem to be happy about it. And time. Mutuo's call for the end of the exam draws groans of displeasure from half the class. I don't blame them. The exam was kind of tricky. Mutuo expects a lot from our class, even though he's not strict at all. I guess he'd like all of us to become scientists. Put down your pencils and turn in your papers, please. The biggest groan comes from the desk to my side. Misha's despair is almost tangible. The dark aura of lost hope emanating from her seat makes me simultaneously frightened of and sympathetic to her. Now then, there should be homeroom before you are free, but I only have a few announcements to make, so this should be over quickly. His announcements are never important, so I listen to him only with one ear. Misha seems to be down in the dumps to even pretend attentiveness. She slumps her head against the desktop, looking stricken. Cheer up, Misha. It's vacation. Don't worry about the test. Thanks, Hichan. Her frown becomes a small smile, and a sparkle of excitement lights in her eyes. What are you going to do over your summer vacation, Hichan? I'm going to Chichan's place. They have this awesome and super cool mansion. I'm so excited. Oh yeah, I remembered something about a certain route. I'm sure it'll be the best summer vacation ever. She seems to have forgotten all about her misery in a few seconds, and bounces up and down on her seat as if to pump up her excitement. I don't really have any plans, I guess. Is that so? Maybe you should... A finger tapping her shoulder steals Misha's attention away from me. Shizune points at Mutuo, who's expectantly looking back at the two of them. Oops, sorry, Chichan. I didn't notice the teacher finished already. She clears her throat and takes a deep breath. Stand. I stand with everyone. Since I came here, I've always wondered about something. What do the wheelchair-bound students think about this daily tradition, being unable to do it properly? Is it a faux pas to keep this tradition in a place that bypasses many others for convenience? Even though I never asked anyone, during these short weeks here, I've come to the conclusion that they're definitely not insulted. They understand. That's what I like about this school. Nobody's too uptight about anything, everyone is so considerate and understanding of each other. I wish the whole world could be like this. Bow! I turn the page slowly, listening to the rustling sound the paper makes and my fingers grasp it. I'm restless. It's the summer vacation. No class, no homework, no art club meetings. Just free time to spend however I want. It doesn't feel like anything. I tried to cheer up Misha, but I'm not feeling too cheery myself. To be honest, the free time is intimidating. It reminds me of the hospital and the long, meaningless days that had to be filled somehow. The only difference is that I was bound to the ward guarded by Cerberus-like nurses. Reading is a good solution back then, but the thought of spending my summer vacation reading books feels nerdy. That has nothing to do with the fact I'm reading even now. I'm just killing time and I'm trying to fight my anxiety. Besides, my mind is on other matters, stretching into too many directions to make sense of any of them. Thus, the book I've been on since Tuesday is progressing slowly. It feels like this book is taking me longer to read than it took the author to write. I try to put it down for a while, then read some again, start all over from the beginning, read each page twice. Nothing works, I have zero concentration. Taking it with me just in case, I head out to get some fresh air and inspiration as to what to do. I make my way to the quad, passing by students heading for the gates. The hastiest ones are leaving for their homes already, judging from the luggage some of them are dragging with them. I guess that no matter how hospitable Yamaku is, home is still home. Still, I heard some people will be staying here over the vacation. The quad is big enough for its center to be shadowless, no matter how high or low the sun is. I stop in the middle and bask in the warmth. The brightness makes me squint my eyes when I look towards the main building. It looks all but abandoned already. Yuko wasn't at work today, so the next time I can get books from the school library is after vacation. There was a public library somewhere, I'm sure, but I'm feeling too lethargic to find out where it is. The hall is equally dead, so I have to content myself with returning to the dorms, ending my leisurely walk sooner than I expected. Then again, I wasn't quite sure what I was expecting in the first place. On a moment's impulse, I enter the girls' dorm to see if Rin or Emmy are there. Neither is, so I go back to my own room to dwell on my lethargy. I should talk things through with Rin. She really bothers me. Defying the conceptual equivalent of gravity, she balances on the thin line zigzagging between insanity, incomprehensibility, and instability. Rin affects me too. She challenges me in ways I didn't know, or more accurately, didn't hope existed. I started to wonder whether these feelings are really love, or I was just fooling myself. Surely it would be insanity to consider that. For the rest of the day, Rin, the hospital, Yamaku, and vacation swirl through my head. I can't concentrate on even concentrating. The thoughts seem to come and go haphazardly, fragmented into two small pieces of cognition. I pick up the book and manage to read 100 pages, but I'm sure by tomorrow, I'll have no recollection of what happened in the story. I try to clean up my room, but even that proves to be too bothersome, too time-consuming, and requiring too much attention to detail. It's usually like this when you have nothing to do. You do nothing even if you could. Yeah. As expected, Mom calls me and I end up promising to see if I can get a train ticket for tomorrow, or failing that, the day after. Maybe I'll go to hometown tomorrow anyway. I could use some shopping or something. It's not that I need anything, but maybe there are summer sales and I could pick up something. Like the Steam summer sale! So I ended up like already spending like over like $200 on the Steam summer sale this year because I bought multiple games with a bunch of DLC. Am I trying to force myself? Before I was content with having nothing to do save for kicking the ball every now and then at the field. Now it seems that I can't settle down at all. Is it because I have changed or because my world has changed? By 11, the darkness bids me to sleep. The medication bottles are innocuously arranged at my night table, not at all beckoning, rather pointedly reminding me of the reality instead. It's evening, so I have to open 3 bottles, extract 1 large oval-shaped one, 2 small round ones, and 1 large flat that has to be cut into half, close the bottles, and chug down the medications with a chaser of fresh tap water. The water tastes metallic on my tongue. I swallow it along with the pills anyway and head to the bathroom. The mindless job of brushing my teeth is fit for trying to sort my thoughts. One emerges from the mass, clearly rising above the others. I want to see Rin. I can't let my outburst of anger be the last thing between us before the vacation. I have to see her tomorrow. Sleep overcomes my confused mind with more ease than it should. I think I remember something about this route. It's about to occur. Rain is falling on my summer vacation like an uncountable number of small bad omens. Luckily, I'm not superstitious, but the bad weather makes me downcast too. It's been like this since the morning, and there's no end in sight. An unpenetrable gray mass of clouds shadows the sky as much as it shadows my mood. In a bout of defiance, I finished cleaning up this morning, but after that was done, I ended up staring out the window in hopes of the weather clearing. The incessant drumming of rainfall against the roof and the pavement is mesmerizing, a droning background noise to lose your mind into. This won't do, I have to get a move on. Should I pack now or later? I decide on the latter and make my way outside, pausing briefly at Kenji's door to listening to the odd clunking sounds from the other side. I don't care to knock, out of fear of finding out what he's doing. Yeah, like, I feel like Kenji only showed up in, like, the beginning of the route and then, like, wasn't never there again. Like, yeah, I know this is, like, a Rin-centric route, but, like, Emi's route, like, had a bunch of Kenji. So I'm like, eh. Anyways, braving the rain from under my trusty umbrella, I cross the space to the girl's dorm. Knocking on Rin's door yields no answer, but the door behind me opens instead. Hazao, hi! Terrible weather. I even missed my morning jog. She frowns, but I would be glad if I was her. Emi's morning jogs are anything but leisurely. Oh, hi, Liz. If you're looking for Rin, I don't think she's there. Have you seen her recently? Yeah, just this morning when I woke up. At the mention of waking up, Emmy yawns like a cat, and it makes me feel silly. Of course, she has seen Rin. Emmy wakes her up and helps her get dressed on most mornings, and even makes her lunch boxes even now and then. They're like sisters, even though they seem to have nothing in common. Well, I mean, one has the arms and the other has the legs. Okay. She left for the gallery a few hours ago. Hey, are you listening? Maybe I'm making a funny face or something, since Emmy tilts her face quizzically, looking at me with her eyes round and inquisitive. Her innocent face seems to request my attention. Yeah, I'm listening. Can I ask you a question? Yeah, of course. She furrows her brow, licking her lips as if to prepare for something. Why do you care so much about Rin? I mean, you probably hang around her more than I do, and we even slept in the same bed sometimes until her lately. after she banned you because you ravaged her hair. A shock of horror widens Emmy's eyes at least twofold, making them seem even more saucer-like than usual, while a healthy blush rises on her cheeks and ears. She told, "Oh, I'm gonna strangle that Rin or something other horrible." I don't hold back my laughter, lest she direct her disdain at me. Emmy recuperates quickly from the embarrassment, and seems to forgive Rin in the same instant, getting her focus back on me. Anyway, are you in love with her or something? Uh-oh, this really feels like an elder sister questioning a suitor. Emmy is kind of noisy and not in a good, happy way. If there even is one to begin with. She'd make a good partner for Misha, to be honest. The horror. It's already the second question, so I don't think I have to answer. I try to conjure up a front made of pure, crystallized, cool, and uninvolvement. Jeez, I'm struggling to read today. Anyway, I wonder whether I managed to fool even myself. At least Emmy is waggling her eyebrows dangerously with a nasty smirk on her lips. You know, this face means she's either pissed or... It means she's either pissed or horny. Okay, I'm done. Is that a yes? No, it's not a yes. Obviously unsatisfied in my refusal to answer her way too intimate question, she has enough sense to back off. Doesn't stop her from sticking her tongue at me like a kid and giggling again. If that's your answer, I don't think I have to talk with you anymore. It's easy to see that she's not exactly really angry. Besides, I have to pack now. Mom would be worried if I miss my bus. See ya. Yeah, bye. She retreats back into her room, leaving me alone in the hallway. What's between me and Ren is not her business, right? That's why I ended up not saying about our fight to Emmy. Ren must have not said anything either. I guess even though they are friends, there are things they don't want to talk about. So if Ren is at the gallery, I'd have to go all the way there. Now that I'd managed to get out of my room, I suppose it's not that much of a bother to go downtown. I could get a ticket, but the train back home will have to wait, at least until tomorrow. No way I'm going to carry my baggage to the train station in this rain, even if there's not much of it. Rain makes all outlines seem very unstable, as if they were fading away. The townscape turns into a shapeless collection of various fuzzy tones of gray, instead of distinct forms of buildings and cars. Those poor souls who were forced into the downpour try to make as much haste as they possibly can, pitying each other for their shared misery. I turn the final corner, the 22nd corner, so to say, and immediately feel stupid for being amused by my own pun. The door beckons me with promises of warmth. The rainwater dripping from my umbrella makes interesting, almost artistic patterns on the floor. I'm not wet, apart from my shoes, that leave small puddles in my wake, completing the rainwater artwork. Nomiya is here too, chatting with Sai at the back of the gallery. Rin's nowhere to be seen though. Maybe she's upstairs? There are no customers though, which figures, considering the bucket loads of water dropping on the neck of anyone daring to brave the weather today. Welcome. Hello, sorry to interrupt. Ah, good afternoon, Nakai. Came all the way here for a visit? No, I think it's just an impulse. I was around the neighborhood shopping and decided to stop by. My reflexive reaction is a white lie, which surprises myself. Maybe I just don't want to say I specifically came to see Rin, even though that much must be obvious. You chose a bad day for shopping. Would you like some tea to warm you up? Thank you, but I'm fine, really. The weather could be better, though. The rain on the first day of vacations is a bit depressing. Well, I'm sure it'll get better. Nomiya offers his hearty laughter, bordering on abrasive. Rain doesn't get you down, teacher? Well, I do prefer clear weather as well. I was actually leaving just now to meet someone, and I'd prefer not getting my jacket soaked. It's very expensive. But of course I'm in a good mood. What do you think about the exhibition? It was wonderful, wasn't it? Yeah, it was very fancy. My unenthusiastic answer only spurs him to carry on, walking around the gallery while blabbering about the opening. He talks more and louder when he's moving. It's something I noticed at the club meetings too. Got to talk to so many good people and make valuable contacts. One of Tezuka's paintings even got sold to a collector from Osaka. I follow his eyes to an empty space on the wall. I can't even remember which painting was hanging on that spot. Well, it's gone now. It was lucky that she was alright despite that dizzy spell. She got a little quiet though, so I told her to rest well. Then again, she's always been pretty shy. Shy? Whatever, I just not along with the teacher. The reception was very positive in general. I might be able to get one of my friends to write a little article in the magazine to Shinichi, you're making Mr. Takahashi wait. Sai's remark makes him stop in his tracks and check his watch. Nomiya frowns in displeasure at the interruption of his tirade. Alright, well, I'll be off then. We'll meet in September, Nakai. Bye. Wow. Teacher really doesn't hold back when it comes to Rin's budding artist career. Yeah. So, like, do schools in Japan, like, do they start up again in September? Like, that would mean... Okay, so, like, yeah, for us in America, well, I don't know if you guys are American, but I'm an American. So basically, like, basically just get out in, like, end of May, start of June, right? Then we go back to school at either the beginning or end of August, because how we did things in North Carolina, well, okay, well, I'm not in North Carolina anymore. But basically, in some states, like the end of August, some states the beginning of August. So yeah, like that's when we go back to school, and yeah, there's that. So yeah, well, teacher really doesn't hold back when it comes to Rin's budding artist career. I guess it takes a lot to succeed, but I suppose his job would be easier if Rin was more cooperative. She's too indecisive, even though she's doing just fine, like that dizzy spell from the night before. She's got freaked out or something. I didn't really do anything to help her. I sigh. Feels like the gap between me and Rin is slowly widening. She's going to become something great while I'm feeling like I'm bogged down, despite promising myself to try to make something of my life. On top of that, we had that fight, and the longer we keep not talking, the harder the wounds become to heal. If that is even what we want. I never found out what Rin felt, and now I'm not sure what to feel myself. I wish I could understand her, but Ren is not very open for interpretation. Not that she's hiding anything. She just seems to defy my attempts at making sense of what she's talking about on any given day. Something on your mind? I realize I've been spacing out in the middle of the gallery for who knows how long. Nothing special. I pretend to study the closest paintings to distract her. I've seen it before. The now all too familiar strokes of color, twisting and melting into each other, seemingly randomly, still manage to feel like there's something happening behind the scenes, so to speak. Actually, I think we've seen this being painted what was it in a CG? I think it was in a CG. I'll have to like look through this like CGs again. Can I? No, just text history, like show image, or well, I'll do that later. Rin's style is so much like her. Abstract, incomprehensible, colorful, mysterious. I wonder if to understand an artist, one must understand art. May I have a question? Oh? She looks up from the magazine she was idly leafing through, seeming delighted at my display of unspecified interest. How do you interpret art? What do you mean? Her eyebrows rise high into questioning arcs, as if the question was too complicated to even begin to answer without clarification. Sorry if I'm asking something stupid. I don't really understand art like the pros do. Oh, there's no trick to it. Sai waves my question away with a simple but efficient flick of her wrist. Everyone interprets art as they will, and interpretation is as much in the eye of the beholder as in the intentions of the creator. Yeah, like Death of the author and all that. Right? Although I'm gonna say, like, if I were to make something that says, I don't know, let's say stealing is bad. If I were to make an art piece that says stealing is bad, but then someone were to turn around and like mold it into something like, oh no, like you see in this story it says stealing is actually good in this case, I'll be like, what? So anyways, sorry, I'm just like saying something stupid. Pros have their own way because there's also a thing called art theory. There are patterns in art just like in everything, and we assume it's possible to draw some conclusions from observing those patterns. Her voice is like a teacher's, lecturing and adding emphasis on random words to keep the listeners on their toes. In the end, I suppose it's pretty meaningless. She moves to musing she moves to musing seemingly to herself, muttering loud enough for me to clearly hear. A good piece of art will make you feel something, and that's all there is to it. Feelings change, and they affect the art we create and the art we see. But I'll tell you a story. Do you have to? The last one is depressing. It's important. Listen. About 100 years ago, a little-known paper got news that his friend, a man called Kasegmas... Kasegmas? Is that a real person? I don't think... I don't think I remember this. This happened while he was away. He hadn't seen his friend for a while, so obviously he must have felt more conflicted than you would normally would after hearing such a thing. For 4 years after that, our main character did nothing but monochromatic painting because he was so deeply affected by the news. Whatever he did, he just kept returning to that same color until it let him out of its grasp. She takes a little pause to check whether I'm still following. I am to an extent, so I give her the prompt that storytellers seem to live for. So? It's hard to continue from that, as I can't seem to come up with the question she wants me to come up with. Like a half-baked Socrates, she thought she laid out all the tools for revelation in front of me. Don't you see the point yet? Only her student proved to be too dense to get it. She looks discontent at my slowness. Picasso's Blue Period is one of the most lauded in the history of art, but who knows what he felt when he worked on those masterpieces? Sadness? Longing? Regret? Nobody can tell. If you can see one of his Blue Period paintings, you probably interpret it differently from before you knew about Picasso's friend, Kasagmas. I don't know. Experiencing art is always personal, only interactive by chance or circumstances. There are a million explanations for any given piece of art, but it might be that none of them are what the creator intended. No man is an island, you know. I nod without understanding what that last remark meant. What she said made sense otherwise, except for one thing. If art is communication like Rin said, but someone is talking their own secret language like Sai said, what can anyone ever hope to communicate? It seems so futile and pointless. Art really is not a thing for me. Sai returns to her art magazine, and I make around the gallery, trying to see what Rin can see in her own paintings. A soothing mood takes hold of the gallery, surrounded by the rainstorm, the big windows making their transparent isolation feel more comfortable. A tinkle of the bell disrupts the tranquil mood. Rin pushes the door open with her shoulder and steps in. I had almost forgotten that she was the reason I came to this gallery in the first place. I think I'm ready. She pauses mid-sentence, noticing my presence. The needle-dropping silence lasts for exactly 1.5 seconds. Not enough for either me or Sai to open our mouths, but enough for Rin to react. I'm going for a walk. Heading back outside with a reckless pace uncharacteristic of herself, Rin seems to forget that it's still raining. Without giving it any real thought, I grab my umbrella and hurry after her. I catch Rin around the corner, open the umbrella, and lift it above the two of us, while still having to almost run to keep up with her. She doesn't protest me running after her, nor me giving her shelter against the rain, eventually slowing her pace down so I can match it with an almost immediate danger of overexerting myself. I relax from the rush, assessing the situation. The last time I held my umbrella to guard both of us against the rain, I didn't think too much about it. But now all the things that happened since then are gathered into a freezing cold ball around my stomach. Being close to her makes me uncomfortable, and I feel myself flustering slightly. It's hard to get words out of my mouth, as it feels suddenly very, very dry. Still, it's not like I can back off. Why do you keep running away? I don't want to talk to you. I want to talk to you. It hurts every time I do. Sometimes it can't be helped. I don't want to hurt. Fine. We don't have to talk. What should we do? Let's just keep walking. Just walking? Just walking. Okay. Our footsteps go splish-splash in the shallow puddles forming on the streets as we walk through the rainfall. Rin, now walking beside me in her unhurried and relaxed manner, doesn't seem to be even a bit bothered by the fact that she's getting wet, even though she needn't to. She is partially out of the protective shelter of my umbrella, despite it being more than enough for the two of us. It's as if she doesn't even notice the rain drenching her shirt. Ren's demeanor always evokes mental images of meditative calm, even when she might be in inner turmoil. But I don't think that is meditation. That is just getting soaked in rain. I wish I could be more calm too. I've become too involved with Rin to retain my usual aloofness. It feels like I've become one of those people who fool themselves to thinking they are objective, only to find they are the worst kind of liars. Illusions to fool ourselves. What better way to make one feel like a good person? It might be better to lose that illusion. I'll be going back home for some time, so I thought I'd see you before that. I could have thought of a better conversation opener, but Rin is actively refusing to talk. Makes it hard. That's good. I might have thought you'd been kidnapped otherwise. You can't keep running away from everything, not even from me, trying to talk seriously. I'm always serious. I seem to be running very slowly right now. Maybe I should take lessons from Emmy. It's futile. Like talking to a brick wall that randomly spouts sarcastic nonsense back at you. Think of your exhibition opening. What if you had run away? Rin doesn't answer to that. She just keeps walking, or running slowly, escaping from me into her silence. She has a knack for being alone in company, I've noticed. We head down the street, then turn left, then 3 times right, and left again. It's like that night from some time ago. We keep choosing directions randomly because it doesn't matter where we are going. All that matters is walking, and the sound of raindrops drumming against the umbrella. Water flows down from the roofs of the buildings, and into the storm drains in wide rivers. Even though I try to step over them, my feet are getting wet through my shoes. We keep walking in silence. That just begs to be broken again. I'm sure I'm the only one feeling like this, though. Why did you have the exhibition? Rin just shrugs sullenly, and looks in the other direction. I give up at this point. It's pointless. What does she want to accomplish? What she said at the night of the opening made me feel there was something special she wanted. It felt to me that Rin hoped for something unattainable. She set the bar high, and inside her own head she failed, no matter how much people liked her works. It's understandable to lack realism, most people do, even if not quite on the extreme level Rin takes it to. But there's not a reason to live in your own private world that accepts no visitors. You can't bend the world to fit your twisted, megalomaniac cosmology where everything works just like you want. That's what frustrates me the most in Rin. She wants the world to live by her rules, disregarding everything that conflicts with those as irrelevant or unnecessary. I can't believe how anyone in Yamaku could not have the bare minimum perception to understand that the world can sometimes be very unfair. I'm sure she's not the only one who wishes some things were different, but we can at least grasp the facts as they are. I take a sideways glance at Rin, who's looking up at our dome-shaped cover. It is a poor replacement for a real sky in its monochrome bleakness. The rain just keeps falling. Just like the clouds today, Rin doesn't really give the feeling of wanting to be watched. She sulks in unison with the sky that she loves so. I shouldn't have come. Her presence only reminds me of how angry I got because of those exact same reasons. And how those reasons probably can't ever change. Even though I want to say I'm sorry, even though I don't want us to break apart, I can't bring myself to say either of those things. We keep measuring the rain-drenched streets one step at a time. Often, when you walk with someone else, your steps become synchronized, as if through some weird subconscious pact. I notice that ours never do. Yeah, the part I'm starting to remember is becoming very close, so. Time passes, and the strikes against the drum skin of my umbrella fade as the clouds above slowly disperse to reveal a cerulean blue. Eventually, the rain yields enough for me to close the umbrella, shaking the excess water off before I do. While I wrestle with the mechanism, Rin stops so abruptly that I take 5 steps before realizing that she's not with me anymore. Stupid umbrella seems to be jammed. When I turn around, I find her staring at me with an impassive face. I wanted someone to say I understand how you feel. Wouldn't that be great? It's an answer to that question from before. I'm not sure. Yeah, but why is it so important? Because otherwise I don't know if I can bear this. I was still in the middle of folding my umbrella, so I just answer something to get the conversation going, but what she says now freezes my blood. If someone says a joke and laughs, you laugh with them, right? Because a joy doubled is a joy tripled, right? If someone is hurt or sad, you comfort and hug them, right? Because that way... She pauses, her mouth still halfway open, then remembers to close it. The gloom sets on her face, and simultaneously on my heart. I don't know why the right words never come out. I don't know why I can laugh only when I make myself. I don't know why everything stays only inside me, even when it feels like I'm going to burst. Her flat, expressionless face does not waver when she says that. Her usual steady voice becomes only slightly quieter than normal. But who would ever want to make me feel like that? Rin looks at me, and I imagine the sadness reflecting from her eyes, whether it really is there or not. I don't want to feel like that. We stay silent for a little while after that. Rin, because she said all she has to say at once, because I have no clue how to process what she's just said. I don't understand what Rin is saying, or I do, but I don't want to. For the first time, both of these things happen, and it has to be simultaneously. The irony is not lost on me. I think everyone wants to be understood. It's universal. But that's impossible. Not only for me, but for anyone. Sai said so too. You affect other people and are affected by them, but in the end you see everything the way only you do. All people are alone, we just use each other to alleviate that loneliness. I wonder why I put it like that. I just felt that what Sai told me rang true, as if I had always thought that without knowing it. It feels like she articulated my thoughts in clear, simple words in that stupid story about a Picasso. Rin droops her head like a withering flower, letting her bangs fall in front of her eyes so I can't see them. Why do you say that when you made me feel otherwise? It's unfair. The shaky voice that says those words does not belong to Rin. I really thought you would be different, that I wouldn't have to be alone. It's the bitter voice of disappointment, spoken through clenched teeth and a quivering chest. I'm sorry. If you are, why do you say something unfair like that? Her demanding tone invokes no particular feeling in me, apart from sadness that has been there since yesterday evening. She doesn't intimidate me at all, not anymore. Rin is not a prodigal art genius, nor an unpredictable idiot savant who could tear the logic load from my brain into shreds whenever she opened her mouth. She's just a girl that I thought I loved. A loved one who wanted to be my friend. A friend whom I let down. I say that because saying otherwise would feel like lying. Why? Simple questions are the hardest ones. I have to close my eyes so I can focus my thoughts enough to answer her. I'm no artist. I can never be on the same level with you. There's a world only you can see and be a part of. I would have to become you. That's something I can't do, no matter how much you wished me to. Rin takes in my explanation, without batting an eyelash. I'm not a real artist either. I just paint because it makes me feel like I can really feel something. She holds her breath for a while, before releasing it in a long, sigh-like flow. That's why I'll do it. I've decided I'll do it, even if his house says that, and that's what I'll do. Do what? Rin's starting a little shows that she has regressed into talking to herself again, but I'm glad I can snap her back even now. Teacher and Sai have talked with someone who is a very important person. I got a scholarship for a big art school in Tokyo. He said I could transfer there and start after the summer is over if I wanted to. I don't really get why. Hold on, what? Why didn't you tell? I just did. You're the first one I told because I decided it just now. She keeps her cool looking, only mildly surprised at my shocked interjection. It's ridiculous how easily she can say something so life-changing. I can't believe it. After what happened in February, I've had enough change for this year. Even if things are going badly right now, I don't want everything to change. But what about Yamaku? Don't you want to graduate with everyone? My plea evokes no emotion. Everyone who? Emmy, me, everyone? I feel my pulse rising unnervingly, and my breathing becomes fast and shallow. I don't want this to happen. Their life is not mine. You just said that everyone is alone. I didn't mean it like that. You always said that you'd have to seize the day and start living your life. I have to live my life too. Rin is twisting my words to justify running away again. It makes me angry. Her ease, finality, and seriousness in announcing this is unacceptable. As if changing your life is something you can do on a moment's whim. No. How can you say that? Why don't you even try to belong? The desperate accusation has no effect. It feels like I'm once again out of weapons, that I can't reach through to her no matter what I try. Rin is so frustratingly absolute in her own judgment that it might make me hate her if I didn't love her, even though I didn't know why I am feeling anymore. Maybe I'm that kind of person, the kind that only belongs to herself. I won't accept that. Her nonchalant eyes do not seem to care whether I accept her decision or not. The pause lets me cool down, to find my sensibilities. While I do, the parting rain clouds reveal a setting sun that still has time to shine its last few warning rays before calling it a day. A mosaic of light and shadow spreads on the walls of the buildings on the street, and the fence circling a park on the other side of the street. Rin's shadow is long enough to reach my feet. It's like one of those Western movies with two cowboys staring each other down, ready to sling their guns at each other. The one who loses his nerves will eat lead. I realize I would have the disadvantage because the sun is behind Rin, stinging my eyes. Do you hate me? She draws first, and I have no counter. I don't know. Did I lose? Even if I did, what would it matter? I scramble for words that could salvage this. I find none. You are my friend. I promise you that. And I'm not the kind of guy who forgets promises. I think that is the most important thing we could try to... Don't say it. Predicting what I was going to say, Rin throws herself into my arms, pressing her body against mine. I feel her rising to her tiptoes to match my height and snuggle closer. The scent of her hair is that of rain and paint thinner. Her body feels as cold as always. Her breathing against my neck is hot as always. It's funny how all those feel so familiar even though Rin as a whole does not. Are you sure you can't hate me? Rin whispers into my ear, so close I can feel the movements of her lips against my earlobe. It's teasing, taunting. If this was some other kind of situation, I'm sure it would tickle tantalizingly, and I would giggle even though I'm a guy. It would be easier if you did. I don't know. It's pretty hard when you're hugging me like that. I wonder if it's because of my sullen voice, but she takes a step back, looking wistfully at her short arms. I wish she hadn't done that. I can't hug anyone, Hazao. I'm a bad person like that. That's why I have to go. She disarms me completely with 3 simple sentences, rendering me unable to argue anymore. And since I can't, Rin is free to continue as she wills, shifting her weight from one foot to the other before she does. I will learn to hug people in my own way. I'm sure I could become a real artist. But if I do, I might not be able to be me anymore. The hint of a smile on her lips is a betrayal, a false sign of self-confidence in a future that even Rin can't foresee. I'd want to interpret it as a sign of hope, but I know better. Rin keeps smiling that awkward, forced smile of hers. That's why. Please forget about me and I'll forget about you too. I'm sure that... She chokes a little in the middle of saying something that I would never come to hear. I don't think I'd wanted to hear it anyway. This is not fair. Rin is not joking. Rin is always serious. But I can't accept it. I can't. Forget about you? How could I ever? That's what I'd like to say. But I don't know how I would continue. I can't come up with anything good to say, so I have to challenge her. How can you say such a thing? Rin raises her eyes to meet mine. They are serious and deep. Perfect image of the uncharted territory I always thought they were. Even now, I can't read her emotions from those unblinking jade irises that never could reflect what they saw. It's easy, after all. I'm good at forgetting things. Her unfairness is choking my throat, but I manage to utter the question burning my mind. So this is it? Is this goodbye? Rin kept looking at me gently without answering my question. From her eyes, I could see that she didn't even need to say anything. There are no more words for us. She turned around and walked off, without looking back. All around me, the world kept changing, little by little, but I was left standing there. The sun dropped below the horizon, casting long and thin shadows across the street. In the waning light, Rin's distancing back seemed to be like from a faraway dream. The gap between us grew slowly. The ripples on the puddles she stepped on expanded, until they met the limits of their tiny existence and disappeared without a trace. Her words stayed frozen deep inside my heart. Oh boy. Yeah, that was Rin's neutral ending, so the world only you can see. So honestly, the bad ending and the neutral ending, in all honesty, I think this was a pretty good episode. All things considered, episode 25. Yippee. So, yeah, this has the non-good ending credits, so I'm just gonna skip that. So, look at this. Look at this. Alright, extras. Gallery. Let's see here. So, basically, 45% completion, right? And I'm guessing all of these are part of the good ending here in Act 4. So, I'm thinking before I go into the good ending, I should check out all the other choices, and then end it off with a good ending and Rin's are out. So yeah, that sounds like a good idea. So yeah, so return, let's see, gallery. How far is Rin? Oh yeah, there's these. Of course, multiple H scenes and... Anyways. So yeah, so... Yeah, outside of... Yeah, frankly, outside of the good ending scene here, I think I got every CG, so I'm just gonna be like looking around and stuff. And yeah, these images are in the prologue. Last few images. Yeah, there's Emmy there complete, and actually hold on. So yeah. So it's ordered Emi, Hanako, Lily, Rin, Shizune. So, okay. Well, anyway, I think it's been a pretty good recording. I'll try to record more later today, but, you know, an hour, 50 minutes is pretty damn good. So, well, see you later. It's been Dean the Autist. Have a nice day.